Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shabri, and today we have one of our great authors, Dr. Amit Gupta, with us. Welcome. He is a plastic surgeon, an aesthetic surgeon, and a great writer. He has written two books with Invincible Publishers. One is about his journey through Iceland with his family. It's called The Icelandic Voyage Where Fire and Ice Meet. It's true, you know. There's a place in Iceland where fire and ice actually meet, and that's brings me to Robert Frost's great poem, Fire and Ice. What do you think about that poem?
I only know about Iceland because Iceland everywhere fire and ice.
Yeah.
It's not just one location.
Yeah.
You land into the country and you get the evidence of fire and ice at almost every 50 kilometers.
Absolutely. And tell me about your voyage with this.
So this was one of, so I do a lot of road trips and I chronicle all my road trips. So I've had travel blogs before on California as well. Iceland was a particularly difficult trip for me because of the preparation involved with it. No one I asked about Iceland actually knew about Iceland. And there were travel agents who were directing me to Ireland because they didn't know the difference. And these were agents who were doing regular bookings and they did not know the difference between Iceland and Ireland. So this was tough, and I chanced upon this particular opportunity. It was more of a chance. I came across a blog that talked of this, and while I was going through the blog, it just seemed unreal. Because the pictures of the places, the description was almost as if it's a fairy tale. So it didn't seem real, and for someone who's not an adventurous person, so it seemed a little, difficult as well. So I did a bit of research on it. It took me almost about 4 months of research just to plan a 10-day trip. And as I was researching, it was actually quite shocking because here is a country which has no army, there is zero crime, there's hardship. People there don't have very easy livelihood at all. They're very tough people. It's either very cold or it's even colder. So there's nothing in between. And it's an expensive country. So it was actually really difficult even to get the bookings done for hotels and the flights and all, because there's no direct flight from India. So I had to then plan it that way. And then being in India, being in Delhi, we are not exposed to too much of cold. I mean, Delhi cold is famous, but this is a different level.
Oh, absolutely.
So when the temperatures there touch about 2 degrees or 3 degrees, that doesn't seem cold, but you get out of your car and the wind which just kills you, it seems like minus 20 or minus 25. And we were not, so I was ready for it because I prepared for it, but trust me, it took me more than maybe 2.5 months just to make a list of all the things I need to carry. So I had to take out a special trip just to purchase the stuff for our trip. And what is really interesting is when I took my car, when I hired a car, the car rental person said that just be careful when you open the door of the car. Don't fling it, because the winds might take the door along with itself, and we are not responsible for that. So that just tells you how bad it is. So going through all that, I was there for about 11 days and about 4,000 odd kilometers in the entire country. Very few people have gone through the entire country on a road trip. So I did the entire country in 11 days, and that convinced me to write something about it. And this is about 3 years back, and I had not seen a single Indian in Iceland in those 11 days. Now, of course, we do hear of a lot of people going to Iceland. One of the reasons was Gerua, the song which was shot in Iceland. So that is from the movie Dilwale. They shot the song in Iceland. So that has added a lot to the popularity of the country.
Wow. Well, Iceland is close to the North Pole, so you can imagine that the population is very low, and like he said, there is no crime, there is no,
there's no army.
There's no army. There is, a lot of people will hesitate, and a lot of people will confuse Ireland with Iceland because Ireland is more accessible. Iceland is way up, way up. And if I were to travel, which I would want to Iceland, I would definitely read this book.
So this is like a day-to-day. You can
Yeah.
actually plan your entire trip. So it's like a lonely planet,
Yes.
and it's just more personal.
Yeah. Absolutely. You went with your family?
Yeah. So we at that time my younger one was 7, the elder one was 10, and my wife. So all 4 of us. Yes.
How did they experience the younger one and the
So they obviously had no idea about it because I did not tell them that there is no Domino's there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so this is a fact actually. The moment we landed, this was around 2:30 in the afternoon. So my little one asked me, okay, let's go to Domino's I'm feeling hungry. And I'm like, there's no Domino's in Iceland. She said, okay, then let's go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's no McDonald's in Iceland either.
Oh,
And you should have heard the noise in the car.
yes.
So it took them not more than 30 minutes to adjust, because the moment you land there, you take your car and you start driving. It's a different world altogether. There's no way you can actually see such raw, untamed beauty.
Landscape.
It's untamed, as in you're standing on a waterfall, and the floor, what you're standing on is trembling. You can actually feel it like an earthquake, and there's no barrier between you and the waterfall. So you look down a foot from where you're standing is where it just falls down. So it's just something different. It is.
It's untamed and
Absolutely,
raw, absolutely
It's wild.
untouched.
It is.
Landscape.
As of yet, it is.
As of yet it is. The thing about Iceland, which I was reading a little bit about in the book, which I'm going to complete today, is that the lava from beneath the earth, there are cracks in the surface, and there's ice on top. But then you can see the lava. I can imagine that as a painting also. How beautiful it would be that there's lava in the orange color and then the snow on top.
Right. And there's lava all over the country because of the frequent. In fact, Iceland came on the tourist map. People didn't know about Iceland before the volcanic eruption about 11 or 12 years back, which stopped all flights across Europe. So there was almost a 3 to 4 week period where people couldn't fly into Europe.
Okay.
That was because of this one volcano in Iceland. That is when a lot of people came to know that Iceland is a country.
Iceland, yeah, people didn't know about Iceland
The
before.
only other thing Iceland was known for was one meeting in the Cold War between Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan. This
Oh,
was in 1972 or somewhere.
okay.
And after that, they forgot what Iceland was, and then this volcano happened, and so it's absolutely.
There are cracks in the surface. Yeah. Apart from this book, Dr. Gupta has also written another book on 17 ways to
17 absolute must-know facts about hair transplant.
hair transplant. So, throw some light on.
So I'm a plastic surgeon, and hair transplant is about 50% of my practice today. And in the last 11 years, we've done nearly about 5,000 hair transplants. And hair transplant remains a very big passion for us. And this book came around based on my experiences over these 11 years and what a lot of patients were misguided upon by a lot of other people. Today, unfortunately, across the country, we've got lots and lots of fake clinics, lots and lots of fraud specialists masquerading as plastic surgeons, masquerading as hair transplant specialists, and this industry is really being spoiled by such people. Now, so this book came around basically to inform patients about what is right and the questions they must ask from their chosen doctor before selecting that doctor.
Yeah. There is a pattern of male pattern baldness throughout the country, and this book will help a lot of people in knowing the different ways of how hair transplant takes place. And Dr. Gupta has done more than 5,000 hair transplants.
So this book is actually, some of the chapters here give an algorithmic approach to particular pattern of baldness.
Yes.
So you can open the chapter and just go through the algorithm, and you will know what type of procedure and what you can expect out of it.
You said there are 3 phases of hair growth. There is hair growth, and then there is a stalling process, and then there is a falling process. So just enlighten the viewers.
So that is about the normal hair. That's the cycle through which all hair grows, and the hair actually has 3 phases. So first is when they keep growing, and it grows for about 18 to 24 months. Then once they've reached a certain length, they remain static at that length. That can be for 6 to 9 months, and then it starts to fall off. So the hair fall which we notice on a daily basis is that particular phase, and then there is a resting phase of a few months, and then the regrowth occurs. So this is a natural cycle for every hair.
My father is bald and he's losing hair. My brother is losing hair. And they always ask me these questions.
Yeah.
What should we do? Should we get, because it's a household topic.
Of course.
Should we get a hair transplant? Would you ask the wife, ask the spouse, would you like a, what do you suggest like to them?
So the first thing I'd say is get the book to them.
Yeah, I will.
Let them read that, because this book would equip them. See, this book is meant to empower a person who is losing hair or has lost hair to make his own decision. So this book will give him that power to decide what he needs to do. And not only he, she as well.
Yes.
A lot of this, there's a chapter on hair transplant in women.
Yes.
So this is something which will give them the questions, give them answers to questions they did not know.
Absolutely. My hair is thinning because I have very thin structured hair, but I don't know if I should or not. That's a question that I keep asking myself also. So the chapter that is written on women and hair transplants, I'm going to read that for sure. Is there another book in the series like breast implants or lip implants or eye tweaking, nose? Because my friend over here just was like, I want to get my upper lip done. I also want to get it done. Is this a trend happening in India?
It is. It's a massive trend, and unlike what a lot of people feel that India is behind in aesthetic surgery, no, it's not. It's way above. India is being targeted by a lot of pharmaceutical companies who are in the aesthetic business for their business expansions, and in a big way.
Yeah.
So India is a very, very huge market, especially for non-surgical aesthetics.
Yes.
So which includes like you said, lip jobs and nose jobs and all. So India is a huge market for that.
India is huge. And celebrities, do they go on celebrities?
Yes, of course. See, every movie star that you see has had something or the other. So it's whether lady or a male, all of them have had something or the other. So as plastic surgeons, we know what they've had, but of course this is not the forum to discuss all that. But every celebrity today, he or she, whatever he or she claims, has had something done.
What do you suggest for people who are overweight? Do you do any?
So overweight is not something which is part of plastic surgery. It's about bariatric surgery. So it's a weight loss procedure, and there is a specialist group called bariatric surgery which handles that.
And in hair transplant, this book that you've written, can you just briefly go to the 17 steps that you will have?
17 steps would be a very long time. So briefly.
Just a brief outline.
So brief outline. These 17 facts are actually the 17 chapters in the book.
Yeah.
And each chapter deals with a certain stage. So the initial few chapters deal with certain stages of baldness. Then, so each of those chapters will give an algorithmic approach to the particular stage of baldness. And then there are special chapters on one is on female hair transplants. Then there are certain other chapters on burns, hair transplant and burns. Then special situations of skin conditions. So there's something on traction alopecia. So for example, the Sikh population who chose to trim their hair, they'll always suffer from a wide forehead because the patka or the turban tends to break some hair in the front, so they always have a pulled up look. So there's something in the book which describes that also. So every conceivable thought about baldness, hair thinning is just there's a chapter on medical management of hair fall, as well as instructions and precautions after a hair transplant procedure as well.
Dr. Gupta, is it a genetic thing or what is it?
Mostly genetic. Yes.
Mostly genetic. A diet or exercise?
They have their own small role, but it's mostly genetic.
And smoking?
Again, it's a very small role. It definitely has a role, but the major factor I think about 98 to 99% of patients, genetics is the factor.
Genetics is the factor. You have beautiful hair. Yeah.
Imagine a bald person doing a hair transplant.
Yeah.
That won't be too great.
That won't be too great. Yeah. That's true. But you have beautiful hair, blessed because of his great genetics and great genes. We would like your feedback. Any questions, you let us know with the 2 books that he is, and I hope he has one more in the series. And I really want to thank Dr. Gupta for sitting with us and having this interview. And please do let us know, viewers, your questions, your doubts, your fears about hair transplant.